Okay, Macy and Shay, y'all should be able to unmute yourselves whenever you're ready. But I just wanted to kick this off because we are going to talk about Winner's Circle. So first off, if you're new here and you're like, what is a Winner's Circle? I don't even know what that is. So what our company did was they ran a contest for top point earners, and you earned points by getting customers, distributors, helping your team promote. If you promote, you got points and different things like that. So basically, we're getting points for the things that we're teaching you to do in this business, the simple things just every day that we do. So the top, I believe it was 40 point earners, got to go to the CEO's ranch and take a guess. And so that was what we're talking about on here. So if you're like, what is a Winner's Circle? Our aha moments are from that event. So we spent 2 days with the CEO and all of these other top income earners, top leaders, top point earners. And it was just super fun. So we spent the day at the ranch, got to hang out, do swamp buggies, feed longhorns and buffalo. And what else did we do? Some people rode a mechanical bull. I obviously did not do that. We got to see they have like the whole nother level. So we got to go up there, horseback riding. Like it was just so much fun. We got to do lots of different stuff. So, yeah, a lot of people have bruises from the mechanical bull. So it's probably best that I didn't do that. But anyway, so it was just so much fun. And it was just really cool to be poured into by Mark himself. And then also like all the corporate people that we got to hang out with. Then the second day we got to go to headquarters. So we got to get in on all the secrets, all the things that they announced on Friday. We actually got to know in advance. So we already knew that they were announcing that because we were at this event. So it was just super cool. And I'm telling you all this to kind of give you FOMO because I want you to get to things like this. Right now, there's a contest going on for the island. So our CEO owns his own island that he paid for in cash. So let's just let that sink in. Okay. And right now they're doing a contest for the month of May and June so that you can go to the island in August. And so I want all of you claiming that. If you don't know really a whole lot about it, ask your enroller. They can tell you about it because I don't care if you just joined yesterday or if you've been here for 6 years, this is for you and you can do this. It's available to you. Okay. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to fill y'all in because I know we have so many brand new people that have been joining for $20, $39, getting started. Put a 2 in the chat if you're like, I just joined in May. If you joined this month and you're on the Zoom, put a 2 in the chat. I know there's a lot of you. So Michelle, Amy, I love it. Paige, Kimberly, Coley, Roxanne, oh my gosh, Kaylee, Lauren, so many new people, guys. Well, first off, congratulations for getting on here because that's huge. Way to show up. And also, I just wanted to fill y'all in on what we're talking about because the rest of Zoom is going to be about Winner's Circle. So if you don't really know about Winner's Circle, it's going to be confusing. So wanted to give you that little heads up on what we're talking about. So I want to just start off by sharing our aha moments from Winner's Circle. So I don't really care who goes first. I can let somebody else go first so I can break up my voice so I don't have to be the one to talk for forever. But Macy, do you want to go next or first? Tell us your aha moment, what you like learned. What was your favorite part?
Yeah, so my personal favorite, I think obviously like I had never won a trip like that before. And so that was the number one thing that was eye-opening. I've been in this business 6 years. And so many times I've counted myself out because I've been like, okay, I've been in this business 6 years. I see where Shay and Morgan and all these people are. And what am I limiting like myself? What's holding me back? And so I didn't realize that I had all these underlying fears, all these underlying lies, all these underlying things and issues that had me holding myself back for so long. And so maybe you've been in this business for a while, or maybe you haven't been in this business for a while, but maybe you have a background that you feel like is holding you back from being your truest self. And I personally did not even notice it until, if you don't know who Cami is our CEO's daughter. And I always forget her title in this company, so it's really bad, but she's incredible. And so I was talking to her and she just kind of unraveled some things that she was like, I bet you this is what's holding you back. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And it was some things that had happened like earlier on in my life and I didn't realize that. And so I had some breakthroughs of that. And number one, like just being in this present place with all of these top income earners, you look at these people and you're like, I am literally no different from them. The only difference is they committed to something. They decided to go for it. And I realized I was counting myself out for so long. And so one of my aha moments was when Amber Parker, like she is just someone that spoke life into me all weekend. I was like, every time she talked, I was just like, can you continue speaking? I asked her if she had a family member in Mississippi who lived here so I could just soak it all in. And she's like, sadly, no. But she was just basically saying like, anything that she wants, she gets because she manifests it and she believes that like God created her on this earth. And I'm not trying to get too spiritual, but um God created her on this earth to do amazing things. Why would she not be able to get the abundance and get the money that she wants? Like she just believes it. And there's so many books and things and tools that we tell you guys that y'all can use. And so I do understand that sometimes it just doesn't sink in. You can hear all these things over and over again. Like when people say, you're worth it, you're worthy, you got it. You can hear that over and over again, but it just kind of like doesn't necessarily resonate with you until you fully decide to just believe that it is possible. And then once that happens, it happens. And something else I'll kind of pile on top of that is when you're praying for something and you're manifesting for something and you're wanting something to happen in your life, don't be so obsessed with how you get it. Okay. Most of you guys know I was Morgan's guest. Okay. I didn't personally earn the ranch like I wanted to. Okay. I was claiming the spots. I was claiming the points. I was claiming this, claiming that. And I was like, I'm so confident I'm going to get it. Guess what? I didn't get it because of the points. Okay. But I manifested it. I wanted it so badly. I was loud about it. And Morgan chose me. There's probably a lot of reasons she chose me, but for once, I manifested it. And so that was something that was eye opening to me. And I asked Amber, because I've been hitting like this paycheck goal of mine, or like I hit it and I felt like I've been at this like standstill, and it's been a paycheck that I was so extremely blessed and thankful to get. And now that I'm there, I'm like, I want more, but why can't I seem to go above it? And she was like, you're focused on how you're going to get there, and you're focused on what it looks like when you don't even realize he's probably blessing you in other ways, shapes and forms. And he's probably blessing you with money coming in, and you're just blocking it. You're blocking your blessings because you have this idea of what you think it should be. And that week, Dallas has been selling stuff like crazy at our house because we're moving. And he was like, hey, just made $100 here, just made it $20 here, just made $50 here. And I was like, oh, this is eye opening. Like I'm sitting here complaining that I'm not at this paycheck that I want, but in reality I am, because it's just coming in different directions. So please do not be so focused on the things that you want, of like how specifically it should look, how you should go ambassador, how you should go Ruby, how you should get this person to their free shopping spree, and just be obsessed with the process. And that was something that it was mind blowing to me. You're in this business for 6 years and you learn something new every day. So never stop learning. But that was something that I was just like, oh, I've been blocking my blessings for the past year. Probably could have been a lot further. And then something else I'll add on top of it, and then I'll shut up, is Morgan personally was speaking life into me when I was just like, man, I could have been further along. I could have been further along. I could have been top 150 income earner if I would have just worked harder last year. And she was like, you are literally hurting yourself from just being stuck at where you were a year ago. Like you aren't forgiving yourself for what you didn't do. And that was something that just resonated with me, because I was just like, I'm so hard on myself. I'm so hard on myself of the cheeseburger I ate 12 days ago, like I don't let go of those things. And that was just something that was mind opening too. So if you aren't forgiving yourself, I am giving you permission to let go of the things that you did or didn't do in the last year or 2 years ago or 6 months ago or even a month ago, and just look forward and stop being so addicted to like the way that success is supposed to look. You are successful. Everybody is okay and abundant in the success world. You have it all. It's just you have to figure out, okay, God, how are you going to open my eyes to see like what it is, what success looks like to me? So that was my aha moment. I have like a billion, but just to like save time, that was kind of something that resonated with me.
I love that. That is so good. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, because we see the things that we don't have instead of seeing the things that we do have. We see all the lack instead of all of the abundance. So I know that's a huge shift that I've had to make in my business too. And it's made such a huge difference. Okay, Shay, what was your aha moment?
So I have probably like 174,000 aha moments from this weekend, because I just feel like, okay, so y'all probably heard Morgan and I talk about this so much, and we've done leadership Zooms specifically over this of counting yourself out and not letting yourself be a part of these things. And so we just talked about it if you were on her leadership Zoom before this, but when they announced Costa Rica in 2019, drop a one if you were here when you saw that they announced Costa Rica. And I was not in a good place in my business. I wasn't where I wanted to be, but it was the first time that I shouted out going Ambassador Diamond. Okay. Everyone is going ambassador. Me and Morgan were in this chat of all these people that were reaching for the top of the company. And it was like one after another. They all started popping ambassador. And then me and Morgan were like, wait, what? We didn't go to ambassador. What's happening? What's wrong with me? And that's like the first time in my business that I was like, I don't actually know if I can go ambassador. I don't actually know if I can do these great big things in this business. And how many of y'all have ever had something like that where you're like, I don't know if I can ever go farther than this? Maybe when you went diamond, maybe when you went double, and you hit that almost cap in your business where you're just like, I don't know if I can break through this glass ceiling. And so they announced Costa Rica that month. I announced it in my team page. I posted it on my social media, and I was like, I am going to Costa Rica. Now, I don't know who I thought I was for thinking I could go to that, especially with how confident I was. Like, I literally, y'all, I was so confident. I was like, I already made it. I'm already in. Hello, Costa Rica. I wasn't even close. Okay. I'm just going to go out and say that. I wasn't even close to earning that. But I will tell you that that month, I had one of the biggest paychecks I'd had in the business so far. I enrolled so many incredible people. I had like just so much growth, so many things, so many special trainings I did for my team because I wanted that trip so bad and I was so on fire. I missed it. I did not go to Costa Rica. But because I went after Costa Rica, I set myself up to earn Premier the next year. And I went to Premier not as a coach's pick like I would have been for Costa Rica. I went as a top 25 income earner. Because I made that decision to not count myself out of that trip, I did not count myself out from Premier when in the back of my mind, I was like, who the heck do I think I am even thinking I can go to Premier? Like, I remember even thinking that 25 people in the entire company, Cheyenne, and you think that it's going to be you. That's what I thought in my head. But on the other end of it, if I don't shoot for it, how will I ever know if I can earn one of those? And I know what it feels like. I want you to take what that Premier is for you, or what that Costa Rica was for you, or what that winning circle is for you. Was it diamond for you? Was it a $500 paycheck? What is it for you that you're like, I am crazy to think that, but I'm going to go after it? How many of you drop a two if you've accomplished something in your business that you never ever thought in your life you'd ever do? Ever. You came here for a couple $100s a month and then you did that in the first month and you're like, wait just a second, like I can actually do that. That has been the way that it's been in the last almost 5 years that I've been here with It Works, because I didn't count myself out of this. So therefore it didn't count me out of this. So therefore it didn't count me out of this. And I kept checking things off. And so then I earned Premier, and I remember going to Premier and we were sitting in this room, and Morgan was one of the first people to talk actually. And I was so excited for me to be able to share, and I start ugly crying. Okay. I could not keep it together at Premier. I'm so emotional. I just felt like a sponge. I was taking so much of it in, and all these people started sharing. And if y'all know me, I'm not quiet. Okay. I'm always the first person that's like, let me talk, let me speak. I didn't say a word. But all I could remember while sitting there was, I cannot wait to come back to one of these and bring someone on my team. How many of you promoted to Ruby or Diamond or made that couple $100s and you're like, I want someone on my team to earn this. I want them to know what it's like. I want them to feel what this feels like. And so when I went to Premier and I saw all these people here, I was like, I will never, ever, ever come back to one of these events by myself. Never. I never want to know what it's like to have to go back to my team and sit here. Like me, Macy, and Morgan are on here trying to show you what that felt like, but you will never know what it truly feels like until you're in that room. And it's the hardest thing ever to sit here and try to explain to you what it felt like being in a room with Mark Pentecost sitting on his fireplace, sitting next to Cindy Pentecost as she shared the stories of paying cash for the island, and like seeing the way that they love us so much. Like you can't explain that. But when I sat there, I said, I will never come back to this event or any event by myself. And there I was a couple months later, sitting in the exact same spot, sharing the same aha moment, but having 3 people on my team with me in that room. That was what it was for me. So when you look at what promotion you're going for, whether that's Diamond, whether that's Ruby, whether that's you going VIP on here, do not go for anything unless you can bring your team with you. And some of you are looking at these next steps and these next levels and next promotions as if, I'm so excited to go VIP. I'm so excited to make a $10,000 paycheck. What about the girls that came here just to put food on the table? What about the girls that came here just to put gas in their car? What about the ones that came here just to be able to put diapers on their kids because they're having to put it on WIC or government assistance and they're not able to make ends meet? That's what it's about, okay? And so when I was sitting there in there with my team, I just couldn't stop thinking about that and looking around at all these people. You guys, there were diamonds in that room. There were people that have been with It Works for 4 months in that room who literally said, I'm going to go for it. They didn't look left. They didn't look right. They didn't wonder whose points were where and what ambassador diamond was trying to earn it. They earned it because they literally put their blinders on and got to work. And for the amount of people on here that could have been in that room makes me so sick, because I'm like, you could have experienced that if you would not have said, oh, they're going to get it before me. Oh, they're going to probably get it. Oh, I could never because I'm a diamond. Oh, I could never because I just joined the business. Listen, there was a guy in Morgan's group who's been in the business for 60 freaking days who earned that trip. Do not tell me that they have more than you, that they do this, they do that. It could have been you. And until you realize that you can no longer count yourself out, you will never go to those events. You will never get to that promotion if you continue to say, I can't do that. They have something I don't. They're special. They're just made for this. They came from this. They did this. They did that. No, the only reason they were there is because they didn't count themselves out. And so when I look at that bigger picture, I preach this to my team so much, because I just cannot stand when people have so much potential and count themselves out simply because they feel inadequate. If I would have counted myself out from going diamond, there wouldn't be 60, 70 diamonds on my team. If I would have counted myself out from going double diamond, I would have never had all the girls that have made over $5,000 a month on my team. If I would have counted myself out from going VIP because I thought only unicorns did that, I wouldn't have 6 VIPs on my team. If I didn't go ambassador and go after it and not be afraid of 150,000 in volume going that month, I would have never gone ambassador, and I wouldn't have an ambassador diamond team. Every little thing that I did not count myself out from is the only reason that I went to the next level and went to the next level and went to the next level after that. And then I got to turn around and grab the hands of people on my team and pull them right back up with me. And so when you are counting yourself out of these trips, of these events, and it's not just the island, it's not just Winner's Circle, it's counting yourself out of doing your 6 list every day. It's counting yourself out of showing up for your business. It's counting yourself out from even getting on these Zooms or thinking that you can get $100 bonus that they announced, or get your 5 distributors with your codes, whatever that may be. You count yourself out, you're tightening the lid on your team and you're capping everyone else out. They follow everything that you do. And so when we were here, and we were riding the horses. Okay, I grew up riding horses, so I'm confident. I get on the horse, I'm like, let's go, I'm so excited. And Rachel Jones is behind me. Okay, everybody knows Rachel Jones, all right? We all love her, we admire her, we're inspired by her. Homegirl was freaking out about getting on this horse. Like, I thought she was gonna stroke out. She gets on the last horse behind me and the horse starts to like walk, and she's like, oh my God, he's running, oh my God. And she's freaking out about this horse. And I'm laughing so hard because I was like, Rachel, this horse, like, you control this horse. They read your energy, they feel you, everything you do, they're trained to follow what you are doing, and you're allowing this horse to control you instead. And she was like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. And it was, I could not get it together. I was laughing so hard. But that was her biggest aha moment. She actually shared it multiple times in our circle. And she was like, Cheyenne turned around and, you know, the trail, whatever, the leader or whatever, she was in the back to make sure obviously nothing happened. And she was telling Rachel the whole time, she was like, Rachel, the horse is reading your energy. So if you act in control and you're leading this horse with your rope and telling him where to go, he's going to follow every single thing that you do. But right now, he feels just as stressed as you because you're so stressed and you're freaking out and you're not controlling him and you're pulling him and you're letting him go. So it's kind of the same thing as our business. Some of you are allowing your team that doesn't work control you from where you're going. You're not being the captain of your ship. You're letting your team control you. You're letting the opinions of others control you. You're letting all of these other factors control the way that you're guiding your ship. So right now, the people on your team, it's almost as if you went overboard. And there's no one driving your ship or driving your car or holding the steering wheel. It's just going because you're not sitting there focusing and, you know, taking these things back. Every Zoom that you get on, every Facebook Live that you get on, every aha moment, every book, you should be turning right around and giving that to your team, because your team is going to do 50% of what you do. So what have you been doing to your business? What have you been pouring into your business? How have you been controlling your business? They're going to do 50% of that. So if you're wondering why your team isn't showing up or why they're not loud or why they're not running with you, look at what you have been doing and saying, have they been doing 50%? Is that about 50% of what I'm doing? Yeah. How many host posts have you been getting up? How many host posts have your team been getting up? How many enrollments have you had? How many enrollments have they had? How many Zooms have you been getting on? How many Zooms have they showed up to? half of what you do. And so when you look at Morgan and you see her planner that's completely full, and you look at me always posting enrollments on my story, and you look at us promoting and earning these winner circles, you see what we're doing on social media. So imagine what our teams see behind the scenes. Imagine what we're doing that you don't see, right? And that's because you've got to make sure that you're showing up in every single way. You're being the captain of your ship. You're leading that horse. They're feeling your energy. There's not a single person in this business that does not know where I'm going. There's not a single person in this business that does not know where Rachel's going, where Morgan's going, where Stephanie and Joel are going, because they're loud about it. That's what I want you to do. I want you to get back into your business, and not a single person should doubt what promotion you're going after, what you're going for this month, how many distributors you're going to enroll. Does anybody remember, if you follow me, the month that I was like, I'm getting 50 distributors this month, and I tracked it every single day, and I was like, look at how many I have, and this is how many I need, and I got number 27. Like, everyone was hyping me up. I had people joining just so they could help me reach 50. That's what I want. That's what I want every single one of you, because people will join and people will run with people who know where they are going. Okay. How many of you want to promote simply because you want to see Morgan promote to ambassador? If I were on her team, I'd say, dude, I'm your presidential. I don't know who's in your presidential box, but it's me. Hello, I'm going presidential, because people want to be a part of people that are going somewhere. That is why successful people are in this business, and why people keep running, and why people promote, and why people hit top 150, and why people earn these is because people are running with them. I didn't earn Winner's Circle myself. I earned Winner's Circle because I rallied with my team. I helped them promote. I got distributors, helped my rubies, popped some emeralds, popped some diamonds. They won because I won, and we all won. And now I got to go to Winner's Circle, be a section of that, and bring that back to my team. And so that was something that really resonated with me. And even watching Rachel go through that was just, they read your energy. And so what has your team been reading from you? What have they been seeing from you? What example have you been leading from the front as? And maybe you don't have that example, and that's your wake-up call, because you need to look back and say, oh shoot, like I need to be louder. They don't need, like, I don't even know what I want, so therefore my team doesn't even know what they want or what I'm going for. When's the last time you shouted out you were going diamond and didn't just shout it on the first of the month? When's the last time you said, I'm going diamond, and it was the 15th? When's the last time that you were like, I'm getting this volume and getting these customers? I just got 3 customers today. I'm going diamond on the 21st. So many of you are like, I'm going ruby this month, and then crickets for the rest of it. And people are like, this girl really doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't like what she's doing. That's that. You have to think about, what image does that put off? And when I think about my team and the energy that I'm feeding off to them, I look at all of my social media platforms, all of my followers, all those things, as if that is my team already, because those are the people that are going to be on my team. And so I'm so loud. I'm so excited. I'm talking about how fast our team is growing. I'm talking about where we're going. Every time I'm on a Zoom, I'm putting fire emojis everywhere, playing super fire songs, because that way people always know that Boss Tribe is running. My team is running, and we're going after these big things. And so they're like, I want to be a part of it. I want to join. This looks so fun. I love it so much. These trainings are incredible. How many of you joined because you probably saw your upline talking about these fire trainings and how pumped they were and how excited they were always about these trainings? That's a big part of it. And so one of the last things that I'll say too is you being around corporate. Okay. So I brought 3 of my girls, and 2 of them, Sarah and Kayla, are so shy and so introverted. And I know that Kayla has had a couple like one-on-one times with Cami and doing some Zooms, and Kayla's so stinking shy. And so we got here and we were all sitting around the fire. How many of y'all are introverted and you're yellow and you're quiet and you're not going to put yourself out there? I know there's a lot of you on here. We were all sitting there sharing our aha moments, and I spoke and I shared what I wanted to share. And Cami was talking about me, and she was like, I'm so proud of you, blah, blah, blah. She was hyping me up for a second. And then she looked right over to Kayla, and she was like, Kayla, she was like, God put it on my heart that you need to speak, and you need to get out there, and you need people to hear you. And I just sat back, and like, obviously I was so proud that that was my girl. And I was like, yes, you do. Like, I know how much potential you have, but it made me look at Cami and just think, she doesn't know Kayla. Do you know how many people are in this company that she has to love? And she took 5 seconds. I just got goosebumps everywhere. She just poured into me, and she just looked at someone she didn't know and spoke life into her. And because she said that, Kayla ended up speaking, holding the mic in front of all those people, sharing her aha moments, and she didn't stutter once, okay? She boldly and proudly shared that. in front of everyone. And that was her aha moment. And so when I saw how much Cami loved us and how much Mark talked to me and how much he wanted to make sure he spoke to everyone and hugged everyone, and watching Zach, which is Mark's assistant, just being so proud to be there and how much work he puts in there, and Isabella, our events coordinator, like I know this is a lot, but just seeing corporate and how much they love Mark and Cindy and how much they love and let us in their home. Guys, this wasn't just some corporate office. It wasn't just taking us to the It Works corporate office. They let us into their home. They let us sit in their living room and take our shoes off and act like we were home. And his dog was laying all over us. And I'm like, this is life right now. And I sat for an hour and a half at dinner and talked to Cindy, because Cindy's like my favorite human in the whole wide world. And we just talked, and she talked to us about her life. And she was like, Mark just went to a network marketing convention and he showed up in jeans and a t-shirt, and they were mad at him because he didn't show up in a tux. And he said, well, if you wanted me to show up in a tux, I wouldn't have come. And that to me was so powerful, because he just shows up as himself. He's humble. He loves this company. He pours his heart and soul into it. He got the ranch, he got the island, he got all these things for us to enjoy. When they went out to go figure out how they wanted to spend their money and what's the next purchase they wanted to get, they bought an island so that they could take us to it. They didn't just go get some fancy bougie $10 million house that they could have got to be able to live their best life in it with their dog and kids. They got an island to take us to it. That was so powerful to me, because if I know the way that they love our corporate staff and the way that Mark and all of his assistants pour into them, because they know them and they see them every day, and then watching how much they pour into us, they see you. And so my challenge to you is to advocate for yourself. You want to know what the first thing that Mark said to me when I walked up to him in front of the hacienda at the ranch, which is the house? He said, hey, Shay, it's good to see you again. And he hugged me and he said, you know, it's really hard for me to not know what you're doing, because you're always tagging me in it. I see everything that you do. Because every story that I announce something for my team or I shout out something for me, I tag him in it. And he sees every single one of them. And I always tell my girls, I'm like, they probably think I'm so annoying because I'm always tagging them in it. But he knows my name. And I've always said he will know my name. He will know who I am. And it's because I advocated for myself. So I want you to get out there every single day. And if you have not been loud, I want you to get loud about where you're going, what promotion you have, what you want out of this business, what you're so on fire about. Every enrollment that you get, when you shout out you're going diamond, I want you to tag Mike, Cami, Mark, Cindy, all the people, tag Morgan, tag Macy, tag your leaders, so that they never have to doubt and they always know who they're running with. Because I don't ever want to be in a position where my upline doesn't know where I'm going and they don't know that I'm going to be in their corner. Because what we do is we do everything together. And so I want Morgan to be able to, like, Alicia's doing this, Alexis is doing this. Oh, Addison, that girl's going diamond this month. Alicia's going emerald. Like, that's what I want, because then she knows who she can count on, who's going to be in the trenches with her when she's running for that promotion. When I look at my team, the ones that I know are the ones that are loud. Guys, there's a lot of people in this business and we're all doing the same thing, but who's out there getting their hands dirty? Who's out there going down and getting it done? Those are the people I want to run with. And so get loud, you guys. Get out there and share this business from the rooftops. And remember that everyone on your social media and on your team is reading off of your energy, and they are going exactly where you're going. So if you're not going anywhere, that's where they're at, because they're in the back seat. You drive the car. So where are you driving to take your team? And get freaking loud about it.
So good. Put a 2 in the chat if you're like, yes, I needed to hear that. And I need to shout out my goals, and I need to be loud, and I need to count myself in instead of counting myself out. Okay. So, my aha moment was, there was actually another one. I'll share the one that Amber had in our leader Zoom too, but I'll share hers first because mine might take longer. So one thing that she said, Amber Parker was another person that was at the winner circle, and she was on our leader Zoom before this. And she said that her aha moment was at the end, whenever everybody was sharing their aha moments at winner circle, that there was a ton of people, at least at our winner circle. I don't know if it was like that for you, Shay, because there was 2 different sets, so we were a different week, but there were so many Latinos there, and so they were all speaking Spanish. None of them, like, it was hard to communicate with them. We just would smile at them because they didn't know English, or they didn't know English. We didn't know Spanish. So there were so many of them. And one thing that they said, or that Amber said, was it for their aha moments, they all were sharing, and they had a translator, so we were they were talking, but it was hard to understand even with the translator some of the stuff that they were saying. But it was so crazy that um even though we didn't know what they were saying, they were crying, and like they would like touch each other's legs like whenever they were speaking, and they were like, oh, yes, like they knew what they were saying, and we were just like, what did she say? Like, oh my gosh, this is powerful. What is she talking about? And then the translator would come in, they would say what they were saying. And one thing that Amber said was her aha moment. She said, I couldn't understand them, but I could feel them. Like I could feel their energy, even though I couldn't understand what they were saying. And so Amber on this last Zoom, she was like, you don't, like, so often in this business when we post or when we're on social media and we're trying to explain this business, we try to get people to understand us when really all they need to do is just feel us. They just need to feel the energy that Shay was talking about, that she's always excited about something, that she's shouting out her goals, that she's talking about the things that she's doing, and that she gets to have this life that's awesome that she gets to live, and talking about where she's going because people want to follow somebody that knows where they're going. And that's what you need to think about whenever you're thinking about talking to people about this business on your stories, on in messages and things like that, that it's not about them understanding you. It's so much more about them feeling you and connecting to you emotionally. So whenever you're talking about the business, share those things, get vulnerable with people, share the things that people are going to connect with and resonate with, instead of just them understanding you from a fact level. Don't just throw facts at people. Share what this has done for you or what it's going to do for you. Maybe you joined in May and you put a 2 in the chat earlier. You're just brand new at this. You haven't even made a paycheck yet. Well, talk about why you joined. What is this going to do for you? What does your life look like now? And where do you want to be in the next year? Because I know for me, I was already like on fire and so excited about this business before I even made my first paycheck, because I knew where I was going. I knew that my life wasn't going to be the same in a year from then because I said yes to this business. I didn't exactly know what it was going to look like, but I knew that I was going to make it look different because I had the ability to change that. I knew that I had control over what my life looked like. And if I didn't want it to look the same, then I didn't have to make it look the same. I could choose something different. Talk about that. Be vulnerable with people. Talk about those things on social media. So focus on them like feeling you versus just understanding you. But then my personal aha moment, I just love that she said that. So I wanted to share that with y'all because I didn't want you to miss it because I thought that was so good. But one thing that was my aha moment is I've been in this business for almost 7 years. Well, it'll be 7 years in October. So like 2.5 years or 6.5 years. So I haven't gone ambassador yet, which if you're new, ambassador is the top rank in the company. So for me, like, I feel like it's taking me forever to get there. And I know I'm going to get there because it's 2 + 2 = 4. It's black and white. If I keep showing up and doing what I know to do, then I'm going to get the results that I want. It's pretty clear. It's pretty obvious. It's not that complicated, but I know that I want to already be there. Like, I want to be ambassador today, but I'm not yet. And so Macy was actually talking to a guy named Milton, the one that got there, and he's been in the business for less than 60 days, and he showed up, and he's a guy. So he was like definitely in the minority. He like didn't really know anybody. He was a guy and all these things. And so he was talking to Macy, and Macy was talking to him about like how her journey has been a little bit slower. And he said, it does not matter. He was like, when you get to the top, nobody asks you how long it took you to get there. It just matters that you got there. And so I know that ambassador is not the goal for everybody on this Zoom, but whatever your there is, whatever your top is, like whenever you get to the top, maybe for you, that's quitting your job because you want to stay at home with your kids, Sarah Chapman. Maybe that's being able to pay off all of your debt by the end of the year, Amber. Maybe that's being able to replace your full-time income. Maybe that's being able to go diamond because you want that title and you want to be able to have that extra money for your family. Maybe it's building a house. I don't know what that is. I just know that you have goals for yourself, and maybe right now it's not ambassador, and that's okay. I don't necessarily mean the top of the company. That's just what it meant for me. But whatever your top is, whatever the peak of that mountain is that you're going for that would totally change your life, you can build your vision off of that later. Once you hit that goal, you can grow your vision from there. But right now, I just want you to focus on the things that you're going for and to realize that, one, this does not happen overnight. The success that you see now for all 3 of us did not just happen yesterday. And then we are like popping on the Zoom today, so excited because we got started yesterday and everything just worked out perfectly for us. It hasn't always been sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies. But it hasn't always been that way in your marriage either, has it? Has it always been rainbow, sunshine, and butterflies whenever you're a mom? As a daughter? At your job? So it's not gonna be like that here. This isn't any different, but you have to remind yourself that you're gonna get where you want to go if you don't stop, and that it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there. And I think the number one reason why people quit is because it doesn't happen fast enough, or the timeline that they envision themselves to have in this business, or a goal that they set. And they're like, okay, I'm going to join this business. I'm going to get 5 customers. I'm going to get a $100 bonus in the next week. And then they come up a little short. And then they quit because they don't see past that. But I want you to have a long-term vision for this business, and not just see this week, not just see this month, but to see past the next year and realize that if you keep showing up, you're going to be where you want to be. And if you're not where you want to be, you're going to be a heck of a lot closer if you just stick with it than you would be if you quit. Because I know for me, quitting was never an option for me, because I knew what quitting would take me back to, the place I was trying to run away from in the first place. That's why I said yes to this. So I know that there was no point in me quitting. I know for me, whenever I started, I took quitting off the table because somebody told me that if I left quitting on the table, that I'd take it anytime that things got hard. And that's so true, because there were times I almost took quitting, and I almost said, you know what, I'm just going to quit. I'm just going to give up. That was in 2016. How many of you joined after 2016? Every single one of you except for Macy. I can tell you that right now. All of you joined after 2016, and none of you would have said yes to this business if I had said no, if I had quit in 2016, because I didn't get where I wanted to be as fast as I thought I should. But look at where I am now. Who freaking cares where I was then? Look where I am now. I would not be where I wanted to be if I had quit and let the here and now stop me from where I was going. So don't get in that headspace. Don't let yourself decide, like, in this temporary moment. Don't base these long-term decisions on these temporary feelings, because you're going to have days where you just don't feel like showing up. You're going to have days where you feel discouraged. You're going to have days where you feel defeated. Again, you feel like that at your job. You feel like that as a wife and a mom. You're going to feel like that in this business too. But I want you to remember that it's not going to happen overnight. But at the end of the day, when you get to the top, whatever your top is, no one's going to ask how long it took you to get there. So even if it takes you 3 years to replace your full-time income, that's 3 years faster than it would have taken if you had tried to do that somewhere else. Because I don't know about you, but I don't know where else I would have been able to do the things I've been able to do because of this business. You know, I don't know another company that opens up their house to the CEO opens up their house to 80 complete strangers, you know, but he does. Our CEO does. This company does. They add things to our compensation plan, like extra bonuses. Like, I don't know any other company that does that. So I just want to remind you to have a long-term vision. A couple of family calls ago, we always have family calls on Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And it's our CEO on his Facebook. And it's a couple people from corporate that get on there and share announcements and things like that. So if you're ever wondering like how we know about all the new things going on, promotions, things like that, get on the family calls. One of the things that Cammie shared on the family call the other night was, if you only have a vision for this business 30, 60, or 90 days from now, I would say it's not big enough. And that's really stuck with me ever since then, because whenever I started, that was the only vision that I had. And I think I would have ran a little bit harder if I knew I was going to be here for the next year. If I knew that I was going to take, and beyond the year, but at least the next year, for the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And I didn't have to know what that looked like. That's not important. You don't have to know how you're going to get there. Like Macy said, you just have to remind yourself that you're going to be here. So go all in. You might as well go all in, because you're going to be here for a long time. You're going to be in it for the long haul. Take quitting off the table, show up every day, do the simple things, fall in love with the products, fall in love with the people, keep showing up to Zooms like this. And you know, you're going to be successful. You know, you're going to eventually have the things that you want if you keep showing up. Okay, so really quick, I want us to go around and talk a little bit about like the belief that you gained, or one like thing that somebody said that you were like, oh my gosh, like that is a thing that stuck with me, or one person that you met that is helping you level up your circle. I know with my leaders, we've been talking a lot about leveling up our circle, and what that means is just surrounding yourself with people who really believe in you, and eliminating the lack of belief from your circle, from your space. So if you have people in your life right now, maybe they're friends, maybe they're family, maybe it's your husband, separating yourself from them. And I'm not saying get a divorce from your husband. What I'm saying is maybe if it's your husband, if it's somebody that's close to you, that, or your mom or your dad, and it's somebody that you can't separate yourself from, right? You're with them for forever, but maybe you're just careful about the things that you share with them. Maybe because the Bible says don't throw your pearls to the pigs, not calling them a pig, but it's talking about the things that you hold that are valuable. You don't want to share those with just anybody because they might take those things and tell you that they're not possible. They might take those things and tell you that you can't do them. You'll know what I'm talking about. If you have those people in your life, you know what I'm saying, because you get so excited about this goal or this thing that you're doing. Maybe it's just this business in general. And then you tell them about it and they shoot you down and tell you all the reasons why you can't do this and all the reasons why it's not possible. And then you start to shrink down and start to just kind of go back in your chair like this, right? Those are the people that you're going to be careful with. But the people that you can control that are in your life, your friends, if they're not supportive, they're probably not your friends anyways, probably not great friends. Those people in your circle, it's leveling up your circle. It's getting around people who are going to call you higher, that are going to make you want to be better, that are going to teach you things and encourage you and tell you your goal is not only possible, but it's actually not big enough. I want you to think bigger, right? Those are the people that you need to surround yourself with, the ones that show up for you, you show up for them, being those encouraging emotional support. Like that's what you want. So anyway, that's what I mean by leveling up your circle. And that's super important because I truly believe that you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So who are those 5 people? And if you're not where you want to be, some of that might lie in the 5 people that you spend the most time with. What are their conversations like? What are their mindsets like? What is their belief like? Is it night and day different when you get on a Zoom like this from whenever you hang out with your friends at dinner? If it is, maybe you need to level up your circle. And I'm not saying that you can't be friends with them. I'm just saying watch who you spend the most time with. Okay. So anyways, who have you met that's helping you level up your circle? Biggest takeaway, how'd you grow your belief? Just something really quick. What do y'all have? Whoever can go first.
I'll go first. So one thing, Morgan, it's really funny because I had told you when we got in like the hotel room, I think it was the first night we were there, and I was just like, it's so funny that everybody in this business is like okay with talking about money. It's not like a weird thing. And you're like, that was the first thing that I took away when I ever went on one of these trips. I was like, you can just say your paycheck goals out loud. Nobody will be like, you're weird, stop. And I don't know how many of you guys have friends, like for instance, and this isn't like a jab at my teachers on here, but I have all like my teacher friends, okay? And they always talk about like the topic is how broke they are. And I never realized how small I was playing it until I'm like the weird one. If I talk about, oh, I want to do this, I want to be a millionaire one day. Like when I say millionaire, it like makes me kind of cringe when I'm around those people because they're like, huh, yeah, right. Like they think it's a joke. And I'm like, no, but I'm actually being serious. So I was talking to Christy Christensen and I was just like, have you always like known that you wanted to be a millionaire? Like that was just one of my questions. And she was like, I mean, yeah, she's like, I always knew I was like willing and capable to make money. And she was just so confident about it. And whereas like for me, it was just a setback to let me know, okay, I need to level up my circle because I told her my goal of what I wanted for presidential of like, you know, if presidential is 100,000 volume. And she was like, what's your goal? And I was like, oh, it's like 105,000 volume. And she was like the disgust in her face was so just loud. And I immediately like started sweating. I was like, oh, just kidding. I was just kidding. No, that's not actually what I said. It was just kind of something that came out. And she's like, sis, you need to go for 120,000. Okay. Not even 105,000. I was like, got it. Okay. We're good. We're good. And then she was like, what's your paycheck goal? And I told her, and she was like, we ain't doing this today. And I was like, okay, gotcha. Okay, what is it? And so you need to have people like that who are going to make you feel like you can make $1 million in a month, even when you know right then and there it's not possible. They're going to be like, let's do it. And that's how important I thought it was, because now that I see, like, I love my friends, I'm not going to quit being friends with them, but I am definitely going to distance myself as far as like who I talk to about those things. Like I want to be around people when I'm like, hey, I want to be a millionaire in a year. They're like, let's go for it, sis. And it just, the amount of energy that it gave me, the amount of energy that it gave me was just, it was incredible. I don't even know how to explain it, but that was like a for real scenario that happened. And I was like, Got it, Christy. Thank you so much. And so when I came back, I immediately thought I was playing small. So stop playing small. And I promise you, your surroundings are going to help that. And people on my team have even texted me saying, I realized how small I was playing. I was like, same here. I'm sorry. I told you that our goal was 105,000. Just joking. It's not that anymore. So just level up your circle and your energy changes completely in your belief. And now I know, I can't even explain it, but just now I know that I'm worth more than what I was saying in the beginning. So that was kind of my aha moment.
Yeah, it's just the confidence that these people have that they're like, yeah, this is just how it is. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to go after it. And it's like manifesting what you want, believing that it's going to happen, putting in the work, knowing that if they put in, and that was where I got that thing from. Like Christy was like, it's really simple. Like I can do anything that I want. I just put in the work and I'm eventually going to get what I want. That's how it works. That's just what you do. And I was like, yep, it's just that simple. Okay, but overcomplicating it. Shocker. So that, I mean, yeah, like it's things like that. So I love that. That was a good conversation too. That was good. Okay, Shay.
I think we've all had a Christy moment like that. Every single time I remember going, I mean, every event I've been to with her, I'm like, alrighty, okay, guess I'm a piece of crap. That's really all there is. And I mean, I'm pretty sure I have a Zoom on my YouTube channel with her talking about money. And I'm like, so how do you make more money? She was like, I just make more money. I just cracked it. It just,
You look just like her whenever.
I just make more money. I'm like, okay. And so guys, that's what I was going to talk about it in the same way, but with someone's husband this time. And I hope that this story like resonates with you and is as funny as it was at the actual event. So we're on the swamp buggy, right? And I'm sure y'all can gather from these pictures. I mean, we had bruises from them. I mean, we have just a ball on those swamp buggies, okay? They really are so funny. And we're sitting on here, and this girl, I had no idea who she was, okay? These people, also the hunger from these people, because they didn't just get there by income or by time or by an ambassador. They were here as like diamonds, and they're like, what are you doing that's working? How did you get here? What are you doing here? Like so hungry everyone was, and I love that so much. And so we're sitting on there. This girl, I had no idea who she was, and I know a lot of people because I love knowing people and their faces. Like I'm so good at that. And I was like, I don't know who this girl is. And she's sitting here with her husband. They're from Alabama. So anytime somebody has an accent like Macy or Morgan, I'm like, I am listening, right? All of you do it. Okay, someone's got an accent, and you're like, keep talking, keep it coming, sister. And so that was this husband. Okay, I was like, what are you doing? Or where are you from? And he's like, I'm from Alabama. Can you tell? And I was cracking up because his accent. And so we're sitting there, and I'm sitting across from him, and y'all can imagine, all of you that have husbands, putting them on a swamp buggy, living their best life, okay, living for it. And I'm watching him, and he's like just in awe, like he's looking at the trees, like that's a nice tree. You see that tree over there? That's a good one. Like just, it was so funny, and I'm just watching him. And so on the swamp buggy, we were together, and then we went horseback riding. They were with our group, and he's just like galloping away, just like living his best life. And I'm watching him just transform basically from this event. So I was imagining him as a brand new distributor on our team. Did any of y'all walk through your life and compare everything to the business? I read that and I'm like, oh, that's a good one. I'm doing a zoom over that. Oh, that's a good quote, everything. And so I'm like, he's like a little newbie, he has no idea what he's here for, but his whole life is about to change from this event. And so I just watched his eyes light up and how excited he was. And he kept staring at his wife when Mark would talk to his wife. And I'm like, I want one of those. But anyways, so we're sitting there, we're talking about it. And so we're sitting in the circle, and literally like the third person to go was this husband. He stood up, he said, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk, if I'm even supposed to be here. Like, I think my wife's supposed to talk, but I'm going to talk. And he was like, are any of y'all men in here just real excited to work? Because I'm ready to work this business. Like, he does not work. He was like, I love my wife and she works so hard, but I'm ready to get to work. So can we finish up this talk? It was so funny. And so I took so much from that because I watched him go through this entire event. I watched him take it in. I watched him catch the vision like in front of my own eyes, and then watched him sit down in front of all these people he has no idea who makes so much money. And he's like, I'm ready to work. And so it just reminded me just how fresh it is and how simple it is that, and one of the girls shared this aha moment. She was like, me as a top leader coming in here reminded me how my newbies feel when they come into this business because none of y'all know who I am. And I was like, wow. Okay, when ambassadors and top leaders walk into that room, they know everyone knows who they are. But she walked in and she was a triple, and I didn't even know her. And she was like, I walked in and felt like a brand new distributor that walks into my team page. And so when I saw him and saw him catch the vision and saw how excited he was, that's what they should catch from you. When you are a leader on your team, a newbie should join you and say, I want this. I want the passion that she has. I want to be as excited as her. I want to love this business the way that she does. I want to make these paychecks. And that's what he saw. And then watching Christy come in and say, I feel like a newbie in a room where I'm a triple diamond. Like, I feel like I haven't arrived, that I'm here and I'm so excited and so passionate. And when I got done sharing my aha moment and talking about how he said, what was your next goal? I'm like, I was going to say double ambassador, but my next goal isn't double ambassador. My next goal is to have ambassadors on my team. I want people to know what it feels like to be where I am, or to see the paychecks that I've seen, or to live the life that I live, because I'm so passionate about this business. And that's what I want your team to say about you. I want your team to say, wow, this girl is so passionate about what she does. I want them to look at you and say, dang, I want that. I want her life. And not in an envious way, not in a bragging way, but in a, I want what she has. I want to drink what she's drinking. And that's what people got from that event. And when I watched him stand up and say that, and he was like, I love you so much, wife, but I'm going to work. I'm about to go enroll some customers. And I was like, that's how our newbies feel. So be that passionate, be that on fire. And I promise you, that'll be the flip that your team needs. When you flip that switch, they're like, I want what she has and I'm going to go get it.
That is so good. I love that. Whose husband was that? Would I know her?
I still don't know his name and I don't know the girl, but I wish I can go look in the chat, because I'm like, this guy better start enrolling because he really caught the vision this weekend.
I bet he's gonna be at the next one and we'll be able to meet him. Oh my gosh. Okay. So one thing about the accent really quick before I share mine, because I feel like I have to have something funny with mine, and mine wasn't funny, so I'll add something else. Okay, so my mom, before I went to the winner's circle, I called my mom. No, she called me. It was Mother's Day. I called her on Mother's Day, so I was already there. And she knew that I was going on this trip, but I go on a lot of them. So she's like, so now what is this one for? And she just can't keep them straight. So she was like, so now, and my mom is super country. If y'all don't know, she's from Mississippi. I need to add some highlights to my things so y'all can go back and watch our stuff. But anyway, and a lot of the people on our team like saw the stuff, so they'll think it's funny. Anyway, so she was like, now what's this event for? I was like, it's we earned it, points. She was like, is this income earners or points? What y'all do? And I told her, and then she goes, oh, so are you with the Pentecost? I was like, yep, I'm with the Pentecost. She was like, well, tell Cammie I said, hey, are y'all going back to the farm? I said, the ranch. I died. And she started laughing too. She was like, I meant the ranch. And Macy was standing right there. So I just told her, oh my gosh, that was so funny. So Macy put that in the chat. That's why I said it earlier. Anyways, so my belief thing, switching gears, was whenever I was talking to all these girls, I was telling them just like how I was feeling about not being ambassador yet, and that's been consuming my mind a lot lately. Anytime that I'm working, I'm like, what am I doing this for? Because I feel like I'm never going to hit ambassador. And I know that that's something that you're like, oh, I can't believe you had those thoughts. Like, yeah, I'm human too. So I have those thoughts whenever I don't hit my goals either. And I've been shooting for ambassador for 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years in October. So I have been going for this goal for a really long time, but I just started to get all these feelings and these like doubts and thoughts coming into my mind. And that's what I was like marinating on, instead of thinking about the things that were good and were happening and the moves we were making. And so I just was very honest with Cammie and Amanda Boucher and Amber and a girl named Christina. And we were just sitting there, we were talking, and they were like, are you saying, like, what are you speaking about the most? Like, what are the thoughts that you think about the most? And I was like, dang, that's so true. It's all the things that are going wrong, or the things that don't happen, or ways that things aren't lining up like they're supposed to, or it's all the things I don't have. It's the lack mentality, the things that I'm missing in my business. That's what I'm focusing on. And so that's what I'm getting more of. I'm attracting more of that. And so I was talking to them about that. And then I have already listened to the book called The Winning the War in Your Mind by Craig Groeschel. that book is so good. I listened to it before, but Cami keeps talking about it. So I was like, let me listen to it again. So I've listened to it again, and I bought the hard copy because I want to like read it and like highlight and write in it and listen to it. So I'm just like really diving into this book. And one of the first things that he says is the way that you're living your life right now is directly based on the thoughts that you think most. Like the thoughts that you think about most are directly affecting wherever you are in your life right now is because of the thoughts that you think. And so I was like, that's why I'm not ambassador yet, is because I keep thinking all the ways that I'm not going to get there. And so my aha moment for you is wherever you're trying to get, wherever you're trying to go, whether it's in this business or not, even just in life in general, if your biggest focus is on the things that you don't have, if your biggest focus is on the things that you're struggling with, those are the things that you're going to continue to get. Rachel, you're distracting me. Those are the things that you're going to continue to manifest, because if you keep focusing on what you don't have, you're going to continue to get more of that. So all you have to do if you want to switch where you are is to shift your thinking. And so it's called Winning the War in Your Mind. If you just search that, you'll find it. In your mind. It's on Audible, it's on Amazon, but it's really, really good. And so if you struggle with those same things that I've been struggling with the last few months, I want you to get that book too, because it's so helpful. And it's already just, I mean, even the first couple of chapters, the second time I've been reading it has been so good too. So definitely check it out. But those were super good aha moments. Hopefully that was inspiring to you. I know it wasn't tips on how to get customers or distributors, but truly, I think whenever we work on ourselves, the rest of that stuff comes. So we know how to get customers. We know how to get distributors. I know a lot of you are brand new. Your enrollers will teach you those things as well. But I wanted to make sure that all of you knew the things that it takes mentally, because if we can work on our mindset, the customers come, the distributors come, the promotion comes, the income comes. Those things all follow this. Okay. So thank you all for hopping on here. This was super